Hi neighbors, it's your girl Fenyx Blue sharing lyrics, lessons, and lifestyle with you. Today we have a special guest. Stay tuned. Here's our special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself so she'll do the rest.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's day has been very fruitful. My name is Lynda Joice, also known as Lady Purple. I got that name basically because my hair is purple, and I found out that it has reached a lot of people. So with my hair being purple so much, with meaning, royalty and mysterious and other things, creative, spiritual. God told me when I changed my hair color, because my hair color changes a lot. And I asked the Lord this time. It was the first time I asked him. I said, what color do you want me to change my hair to this time? And he said, and I actually heard the voice in my spirit, purple.
Purple. So you guys ready to meet Miss Purple? We're going to learn about her author journey today. So of course, starting right off the top, I want to know what even encouraged you to write your story. So tell me a little bit about the why. Why did you write your story?
Well, I am a praying woman, and communication for me, the best is through writing. And because I am also an encourager, I was born to inspire, motivate, especially young women and youth. But in order for us to help others, we have to heal ourselves. And I was inspired. My son said, Mommy, maybe the reason why you can't get your other books out is because the Lord is telling you that you need to write your memoir and finish that first. So I listened to my son. And once I started, it seemed like everything was stopping me from getting that project out. But once I started on it, even the editor was blessed by this book. So I felt like I was on the right path of healing so I could help others. Because if I'm broken, then how can I help someone else out? Even though we can, but we really need to heal ourselves so we don't bleed on others.
Wow. Out of the mouths of babes, though, he's like, Mom, guess what? It's a reason why those other stories aren't coming out. This one needs to be launched first. It's for a reason, and it's going to help to heal. And you said even heal the editor. That's huge.
Isn't that?
Yes, that is huge. So that is wonderful. So I know your story, but the audience doesn't know your other professions, the things that, really make your memoir interesting is that you have this great life experience. So could you tell us a little bit about your other professions, things that you have done that are going to be, we get a little taste now, but they're all in the memoir?
Yes. I'm a mother of 2 adult children. That's a profession to me. I don't take it lightly because it's work. Yeah. It's work.
Full time.
It's work. Even though they're grown, it's still work. Yeah. I am a retired educator. I worked with school settings. My son is 30, I would say almost for 40 years. I started as a teenager myself, helping the neighborhood children read. I was a tutor. I'm also a playwright. I have my own production company, The Vision. So we do theater plays and I write them. My son is the director. I also am a published author. We talked about, one of my books that I published. I'm also a model. That came later on, and it was a surprise to me. If I get a chance to say how old I am, I will. I'm not ashamed of it, but it came later on in life. Awesome. And I enjoy it. It's a lot to it, a lot of rehearsals and things, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy it mainly because it gives me to dress, to meet people. I love clothes, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I love fashion. I love makeup. I love all of that stuff. I didn't realize that I loved it so much, but I do. So, and recently, I'm dabbling in with being a affiliate marketer. So mainly those are the things that how could I forget? I'm also an advocate for bullying.
Yes, this is what we have in common, right? We're anti-bullying. We are change agents. We're people who stand up for other people, right?
Yes, yes.
So that is something that really, 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 really excites me. So Miss Purple did you hear all of those jobs she's doing? She has many, many things. So her life story is very interesting. And so that makes a really juicy memoir too. But it's not just that it's juicy, it's that it is about healing and learning from her story along the way. So I'm wondering, you're now a writer, okay, and you were trying to get multiple projects out. What would you do differently if you started this whole writing process over again? Like, what would be a change? Because I'm sure you learned some things throughout the journey.
I've been a writer practically all my life, to be honest and truthful. I've been writing since I was about 11 years old, which has been writing over 40 years. What I believe, what I would have done differently is to work on my craft sooner. Even though I was writing, I didn't have guidance, direction. My mother is still living, thank the Lord. She's 97, but she comes from the old school.
Wow.
And writing was kind of taboo. So I was never really encouraged to write. Actually, I always wrote about romance. And that was also a taboo because my mother said, whatever happens in a man and woman's bedroom is their own business.
Yeah, right.
So I got no business writing about it.
Right.
So my mother found one of my stories. Actually, somebody caught me because I was writing. Writing is a passion for me. Yeah. So I would be writing in choir rehearsal, even though music, directed the choirs was a passion, but I wasn't up. And I was sitting in rehearsal writing.
Yes.
And they told us to move over, and I forgot my papers. And somebody said, "You forgot your papers, Lynda." And my mother snatched them.
Oh.
And when she found out about them, she made me tear it up.
Oh, man.
So that's what I feel like. I wish I had started sooner, going to school for that. I always wanted to be a journalist, but after I thought that a lot of my life would be threatened because I know I would want to tell the truth. And I felt like being a journalist, my life would be threatened.
Yeah, they are
truth
tellers.
Yes, truth tellers. I tell the truth enough with my mouth.
Absolutely. So I am hearing some things then, even in a time when writing wasn't encouraged, you were kind of doing it on your own, but you just wish that you had the opportunity to work on your craft and master it even more. It would have been an even earlier process for you. And so for our audience who's watching, that's something to learn and take away, is that you want to try to perfect that and give yourself as many opportunities to write as possible. It was a little different from you because Miss Purple, that wasn't the time and she wasn't allowed to do it as much, but we're so glad that she can write now. That is pretty awesome. So tell me like the best compliment you've ever received when it comes to a writer, because we have someone who wasn't allowed to be one and now you are. Can you think of a great compliment that you have received that really motivates you?
I really got a lot of surprisingly comments and compliments from young men. One young man that I know pretty well inboxed me and he said, "Thank you." And evidently he even referred to one of the chapters and he said, "Thank you for that chapter," because evidently whatever he was dealing with gave him some enlightenment that it was okay. Because see, I'm very transparent.
Yes.
I don't feel like, for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but when you hide things under the rug, so much. People can't get helped.
That's
Because
true.
we're always afraid to tell this and we're always afraid to tell that. And that particular chapter, which she said chapter 9, I remember it now. I had even had to go back. Now, when I read it, it wasn't no big deal to me.
Right. But it was
But
huge.
to him,
Yeah.
to him, it meant something profound enough for him to say, thank you for writing that, because it made me realize and it helped me.
You told your authentic story, and from the heart, it reached the heart, which is what I say all the time. That is why it's so important for authors to tell their stories. You never know the impact that's waiting on the other end. And so, like you said, if you hide things and put them, it's a memoir. Tell the true story. Tell what really happened, because someone can relate to that. You're going to change their life. And by hiding it, there's a missed opportunity. So I'm so glad that you told that. And now you're going to have everybody going to chapter 9. Everyone is on their way to chapter 9 when they get your memoir, but that is good to know. They're all going to be going there. So you are the main character in your book, but I want to know a little bit more about you, like personally, meaning like, what do you like to read? What kind of excites you? Because that gives us an idea of who you are as a person.
One of my favorite authors is Victoria Christopher Murray. And when somebody actually introduced me to her, I drew close to her writing because I could relate. Growing up in a Christian home, as I specified before, certain things you're not supposed to discuss, but it was still in me. I couldn't get away from it. Yeah. It was there. She's very transparent in her writing, but she doesn't cuss, but she still gets to the point. Mm-hmm. I love to read about a man and a wife, especially a man loving his woman.
Yes.
Loving his wife, treating her as a queen. Even some of the stories that she has written has had villains in it. And most of the time, unfortunately, it's been women. Women, a lot of times, are very vicious.
What?
Yeah, did you know? Did you hear about it? Let me tell you, they can be.
Wow.
Actually, I'm reading one of her books now, and it's called Temptation Aftermath.
Wow. And
I haven't gotten that far into it, but all her books are very intriguing.
Wonderful.
And what really, her and I have emailed each other, and she responds.
Nice.
And recently, my last email with her, she said, "What is the name of your book?" She said, "I want to read it."
That is wonderful. Just from having that, and look at that, that's the age that we live in now, to be even able to do that, to connect to an author. I was telling someone, I said, we used to have fan clubs and things like that, but even if you reached out to that person, it may not even be the author. It could just be someone who was a fan of the author. And
right.
You couldn't just reach them, whereas now you can, send a message, or you can, if you like someone, you can comment, you can continue to reach out to them. They're like within reach, you know what I'm saying? So that is awesome. I'm assuming you're going to try to be that type of author too, right?
Absolutely, because I think it's important to have that engagement. And I didn't mention that I was suicidal growing up. You don't know what point a person is where they're in need. They won't necessarily tell you, but if you don't never grow that rapport with them, you never know why God is leading. They may be your assignment.
Yes. Yeah, I deal with a lot of students having that same struggle. You know what I mean? And they need to know that there are other people that have been through that already and survived and came out to be models and authors and, lead choirs and do ministry and, things like that. So I'm glad that you're sharing your story. So about your writing experience, do you prefer to write paper and pen, or are you a tech person? Which, you're like, yes, paper, pen is for you.
Yes, I'm old. They didn't have computers out like that when I was growing up. I could I don't know how I got it. I guess somebody must have gave it to me. I had a typewriter.
Oh.
I had a typewriter. I typed and stuff in, and even had one that, you know, you did that with.
Oh.
You know, but and then later on I got an electric typewriter. But to me, the feel of the paper and pen, not pencil, because pencil can fade after a while.
That's true. It does. It does.
But paper and pen is my favorite. I like to feel it. I don't know. I can't really explain it any other way than that. To me, the typing comes later on. Maybe now that, you know, everything is electrical and digital and stuff like that'll come later.
Yes.
But for me, I prefer to do, I'm trying to get used to it, you know, because it is faster.
Yeah.
It is faster, but I prefer paper and pen.
And a lot of people use a different thing, you know, they're speaking into the notes and,
that's true.
You know, things like that to do the voice memos and, you know, it is, but there's something about writing it too. I really enjoy writing it as well, I must say.
Yeah.
It's really a good release, you know.
It's like making a connection or something. Yeah. So, you know, that's the only way I can explain it. Is that your preference as well?
Yes, it is. I mean, even though I do use the voice memos and, you know, type things, but it's usually after the fact. So I'm really doing double work because I am writing it because I love to, and then I'm typing it out or put it in whatever format it needs to go in. But I do love to just write it authentically, and you can cross it out, you know, and just, you know, start over. So yeah, I really do love it. So tell me a little bit more about, because I know your life story has been an adventure in itself.
Oh, girl, it's been an adventure.
It's been an adventure. So tell me, what is it? Where do you like to travel? You know, where's your place, your go-to place that really keeps Miss Purple happy?
I do most of my writing in my bedroom, okay, which is mine's alone. I have written in my car at Wawa. I love Wawa. And the park.
Okay. So that's where you get inspired.
Right. But most of the time it's in my room because I get really inspired in the evening where it's nice and quiet and tranquil. You know, you don't hear all the, you know, rigmarole going on and people boom bombing their music and stuff like that, even though sometimes I will put earplugs in. But basically, that's my place because it's also the place where I meditate, where I speak to the Lord, you know, and he speaks back to me. So that's basically most of my place. But, you know, for real, I can do it anywhere.
Yes, I'm the same.
Yeah, I can do it anywhere. I can get inspired. I'll be listening to a preacher or watching a movie. I'm sitting up there crying and stuff, and I hear the Lord talking to me about, you know, different things. And that's when I really, yes, I have to carry a book with me, honey. I have to. They get on me about stuff. Mom, you're supposed to be relaxing, but I can't help it.
That's right. It's like what you're created to do, you have to do.
I'm a creative. I'm definitely a creative.
Creative. In addition to being creative, you are a visionary. It's in your title. It's on your book, it's everything. So could you explain that to our audience? What does that mean to be a visionary? And how has that impacted your life?
Visionary, basically, to me, is that I can visualize things. Okay. Maybe visualize, even as a little girl, I could see things and I didn't realize because I was a child and nobody really explained it to me. Yes. But I could see things in the wall, eyes, that would be somebody's face, or I could get an idea, dreams that I would make stories out of. Wow. And even if, you know, I have a girlfriend, when I was a teacher, assistant teacher, I was in charge of the school plays and performances and things of that sort. I could see it, I could explain it, but I may not necessarily be able to get everything together. I would tell my girlfriend what I saw, and she would put it into fruition. And we're close to this day. So to me, that's what a visionary is, somebody who can see things and, you know, tell somebody about it, get ideas, However, it may not be all the same because, like I said, mine is through dreams. Sometimes it's through even someone saying something, but I can visualize certain things. To me, that is someone that's a visionary who can basically see it, speak it, and then help somebody put it together. A planner.
Yes.
But it takes teamwork.
Yeah.
Also.
There are a lot of people out there, especially in our audience as well, who have that gift as well. Not everyone, as you said, not everyone acts on it. And so I wanted you to share that because it's very important for people to know, like, if you're getting visions and dreams and you're able to see things ahead of people, it's very important to act on those.
Yes.
So those are gifts. And so,
absolutely,
you want to continue to utilize them and put them out there. Sometimes I think that if you don't, though, it goes to someone else. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, you lose it.
He was trying to, and put it into you, but you didn't want to answer the call. So, so now someone else is off with the vision. And so it's important to make sure to act on that. So I'm glad that you claim it. Not only you're like, I am a visionary, I am a creative, I'm a dreamer, I'm a planner, I make it happen. And this is my life because of that.
Right.
And I'm glad that you're there to share that with people so that they can know how important it is to do that. So could you tell us about the books? We've been, waiting, and, I'm here in suspense. I want to know more about your story and everything. What is that piece when you go out there and you're telling it to the world? My story is about.
Yes. Well, the name of it is Surviving on Broken Pieces. And I talk about from my childhood, my birth, even to the time when my mother was carrying me. Of course, I was there, but didn't know, other than the fact of what I was told, but also the different trials and tribulations that I went through. Everything was not a bed of roses. A lot of it was not. I went through not wanting to live, and I tried to end myself, even to the fact of different things in high school, the choir, the music, having so many talents and gifts and being confused of not knowing what to do. And mind you, I was in church all my life, still confused, still trying to figure it out, still being an introvert, surprisingly so. And I don't know that really things started really coming clear to me until I became 50. I'm not 50 anymore, but when I became 50, that's when I started saying and seeing, I'm the youngest of 7 children. I'm very different. I'm very different from my sisters and my brother. And that was very uncomfortable for me, to be not an ugly duckling necessarily, but to be around so many people and you're the only one that's different. You're the only one that seems to not doing it the way everybody else says you're supposed to.
Right.
Stepping out of the box, but I wasn't supposed to be in a box. I wasn't supposed to be with like everybody else.
That's right.
And there was nobody else to tell me that it was okay or even acknowledge that I was different. Yeah. They was too busy trying to make me be like them. And that was hard. So I had to actually break my own mold. Absolutely. And being confused, not understanding what in the world is going on.
Yes, and there are a lot of little Lyndas out there who feel the same way, who truly, truly feel like, look, I was created to stand apart. I'm different. I'm unique. I have my own way of doing things. And they're looking for permission to be themselves. In family. They may be the baby. They may be the middle child, the oldest, but they feel different and they feel unique. And they're like, what do I do about this? And so you tapped into your gifts and you wrote your story, one, and then you're also just living your best life and trying to, from this point. And I love another thing that you said is like at the age, sometimes people think you're supposed to know it. I hate it in college that they're like, what's your major? You just got there. It's like, I just got here. There's not a certain age where you have to have it all together. where you have to know everything. It may come later in life. You know what I mean? And so it's just important to just live your best life, do you, and, you know, follow your dream whenever that is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I love that you do that, and that the story, and you said on broken pieces, because aren't we all a little bit broken in some way? I love that you own that. You know what I mean? Broken pieces doesn't mean it can't be put together and healed, right?
That's right. Somebody got some glue for you.
Exactly. Doesn't mean it's not still a masterpiece. Some of those beautiful, you know, pieces of art are made mosaics, right? Just pieces all together, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? And so I'm glad that you share that with the world. So where can people find you? Like on social media? I know we can find you on the cover of magazines or whatever, but where else can we find you?
I am on Instagram. I recently got on Clubhouse, but y'all young people got to help me because I don't know how to work that thing. And I was on consecration and I couldn't use it, but I can use it now because it's over and I got to figure out how to work it.
Right.
But I am on Facebook as well. On Instagram, I am the Praying Visionary, PrayingVisionary. Praying Visionary. On Facebook, I am Lynda with a Y, J, Lynda Joice. And on my YouTube, I'm working on, so that will be up. That will be channel Lynda Joice as well. Basically, those are my social medias as of now. Yes. I'm working on being accessible to whatever is out there so I can be, you know, reached whenever, because I do believe that I am a vessel that's supposed to not only speak, but also intercede for others as well.
Wonderful. That is a beautiful gift to share, a beautiful gift to share. So speaking of sharing and gifts, out in our audience, we have readers, so they're going to go purchase, but we also have people who aspire to write. They want to be authors.
Yes.
They want to be published like you are. You know, they're hoping to sit in your seat one day. So what one thing, one takeaway, you know, you've done this process, you've made it through, the memoir is here, there's more books to come, but this one had to be launched first. What piece of advice would you give as we, you know, end the interview? What is something that you want our audience to know?
What I would like for the audience to know, especially for writers, is to realize that you are control of creating a world, and it may be a world that may be like no one else. You don't have to necessarily follow all the rules, because I tell you, I break a lot of them, and it seems like it's okay because there's somebody there that you can touch. You know, Jesus, I have to speak about Jesus. Not trying to get anybody saved, but I have to say, Jesus went after the one. Yeah. There was 99.
That's right.
99 were found, but one was lost.
That's right.
That one was very important to Jesus because it wasn't finished without the one.
That's right.
And he went after the one. It might just be one. 1 and 1 makes 2. Yeah. And multiply. Exactly. So don't think just because it's different and nobody else has done it does not mean that it can't be done. I realized that finally that my writing was creating a world, and I was in control of that world.
World creator.
Yes. So my characters could say what I wanted them to say. They could dress the way I wanted them to dress. I was in control. So realize what you're doing, that you are a creative, making a world, and it may be a world that no one else knows about, but guess what? You're being prepared for someone that needs to read what you wrote. So don't get so, you know, feeling like I got to do it this way and I got to do it that way. You might don't. And I'm sure there is formats of things to do, but I'm just saying, you know, that's one thing to realize, because you're using your imagination, and from your imagination, it's speaking. Because writing is a way of expression.
Yes, it is.
So that's the one thing that I would actually, say to a writer.
All right, so world creator, can you show us the world that you created one more time? Let's see this book.
Okay.
The book, we know where we can find you. Praying Visionary, Lynda Joice, Surviving on Broken Pieces, memoir, interesting, also there to heal you. Anything you want to say about it before we exit?
Well, it's a very intriguing cover. Just want to tell you about why the cover looks the way it does. It's a young lady in a heart. Hopefully you can see that. And the heart is broken. And she's on a bridge. And that exemplifies the times when I was on a bridge. A lot of times when I was on a bridge, I wanted to drive off and kill myself. And this young lady is inside this broken heart. But if you notice on it, there's two hands. One's a male and one's a female. One represents my mother and the other one represents my dad. And I actually, as a visionary, visualized this cover. And I just basically told the publisher how it looked in my head. And they worked on it, and this is what we got.
World creator, visionary, you've seen the cover, you know the story. Now go to chapter 9 and make sure that you enjoy, guys.
But make sure you read the whole book after you get checked.
Yes, read the whole book, the entire book. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure doing this interview with you. I'm so glad you came, and I'm sure that you're going to get lots and lots and lots of support from the audience. And we appreciate you. So we're going to say bye-bye, True Blues.
And you can find it on Amazon.
On Amazon. Check her out.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.